Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys having a great and exceptional Tuesday. Another day. Let's get it. As the shirt says, make money moves. Behind it says, or live broke like a fool. All right. So today's word of the day is intended. Stands for deliberate, intentional, perspective, one engaged to be married. Be intended in every. I chose this word today because everyone needs to practice on being intended in the daily efforts, being intended on the great things that they're doing. Parents know they have to be. It's all about the children at the end of the day before it's about them. You know, you're in a committed relationship. You know, it can't be all about you. You know, you have to be about that other person. There's always compromise. You have a job, there's compromise. So that's why a lot of times people talk about they don't want to deal with the compromises of a relationship. I said, well, if you have a job, you're dealing with some sort of compromise and whatnot, unless you just got it made like that to where your boss doesn't care what you do on a regular basis. Some people have that kind of arrangement, but it's, you know, when it falls down to it, 9 times out of 10, that's not usually how an arrangement's going to happen. You're trading your time for money. Okay, that's why a lot of people, you know, and I think I'm going to do it today or tomorrow, make a video about quiet quitting, because one, it's something I've talked about before, and then two, it's something that's just trending specifically on TikTok, especially because I'm a millennial, but Gen Z is right behind me. So Gen Z is entering the workforce now. Okay, they're the you know, the ones leaving high school, leaving college. You know, they're the generation that was born between 1989, you know, moving forward. So they're the new younger generation entering the workforce. So they have a much different perspective than millennial generation, because millennials, I'm not even gonna get into that now, but let's just say there's little differences, but there's a lot of things that are borderline the same category of Gen Z and millennials, how we look at making a living and whatnot, because especially this is already brewing before the pandemic, but you know, the pandemic just intensified when people had the opportunity to see, hey, making money and staying at home, being around my loved ones, having more time to myself, having more time to work on things that I love and I'm more engaged with. That's what matters in this life. Because if you can make money off of something that you love, it's even better. But you know, we all have our passions, we all have our purposes in life, and they're all different. But when you're able to make a living off of that and not have to worry about punching the clock for somebody else, it's a whole different mindset. All right. But anyways, today's quote of the day is by Dr. Boyce Watkins, and really it's because of him. I always got to give him credit. Hopefully one day I'll get to meet him before, you know, his days on this earth are over with. I need to check out one of his conventions, but he's the main reason why I started my YouTube channel. He's the main reason why I started doing content. He's the main reason why I wanted the mantra of economics. I remember listening to him. I stood up and I was just like, this is what I'm talking about. You know, learning more about, and when I say economics, I'm talking about learning more about the stock market, learning more about cryptocurrencies. Because of him, I actually just said, you know what, forget it. I'll try this cryptocurrency thing out for $20, see what happens. And then during the pandemic, I saw my crypto go up. Now it's gone down tremendously, but I know what goes up must come down. What goes down must go up. That's the American way. All right. But his quote is, ladies, dating a man with no goals is like driving a car with no tires, no engine, and a busted GPS. You ain't going nowhere. And I could not agree with that statement more. Because now that I'm transitioning out of my 30s and I'll be transitioning into my 40s, I remember noticing how back in my early 20s, I was considered the boring guy because I was just about making my money. I wasn't really about having fun. I didn't really start enjoying life more and going out and doing things more until my mid to late 20s. My early 20s, it was all about making money. If you ask me what I was doing in my early 20s, I say this all the time. I would say working, nothing working, nothing working. That was it. I wasn't partying. I wasn't hanging out. I wasn't taking vacations. I wasn't doing none of that. My mindset was, I got to get my money right. And my main thing was because I didn't want to be a bum, one. Two, I remember in my teens seeing men who were in their 20s and 30s and barely had a pot to piss in or wanted to throw it out of and had a bunch of kids and thought that was cool to just be sleeping around with a bunch of females and having a bunch of babies and whatnot and your money not being right. I never thought that was cool. Okay, that was nothing cool. And and if that's you, that's cool. But for me, that never was a goal of mine, to end up in that position, in that situation. So I was all about, I worked 2 to 3 jobs for the first 3 to 5 years out of high school, because I was like, my money got to be right. I want to have enough savings. Then once 2007 happened, you know, that's when I started investing in the stock market before the crash. You know, that was the time when I had my first 401k. When I left my first job, rolled that into an IRA, then had another 401k and started learning more about it, and then just proceeding from there. You know, but I've always been at the mindset of, especially since 2007, of making more money, saving more money, and investing more money. And then when Dr. Boyce Watkins came out, and I found him because of the YouTube algorithm in 2016, 17, my mindset started changing more, and I started investing my money more instead of just saving more. So long story short, at the end of the day, to the ladies out there, if your man doesn't have a plan on any level, especially from economic perspective, then why would you want to date him? Why would you want to marry him? Why would you want to have kids by him? You know, especially to the females in the early 20s and whatnot. I'm saying that, like, man, sure that, you know, he might not have it all figured out, but sure he's talking economics on some sort of level, because, you know, especially the Gen Z generation, they have all these podcasts out here. They don't have to read books anymore. There's so much information out here to where you can at least understand the one-on-one aspects of most things, and then see what works for you, and implement and execute as much as possible. Because we are in the stages now. We are in a recession, regardless of what people say. And the next couple of years is going to be interesting, but it's going to be hard for a lot of people. And to the people that were about increasing their income, saving their money, and increasing their assets and whatnot, those are the ones that are going to win. The people that were just being la-di-da, popping babies out like popcorn, and not being about the business, and not intensifying their skill sets, intensifying the people that they engage with and whatnot, as far as, you know, building great relationships and whatnot, those are the ones that are going to lose, you know. And I always say, you can knock it or not, but like, I'm going to go live today talking about immigration to business. I'm not knocking immigration at all. You know, I'm cool with people who immigrated to the United States. It's not a negative, you know what I mean? I don't do negative connotation videos and whatnot. I'm just talking about how everything in America is a business. That's why they call it a capitalistic country. So if I've said something's a business, it doesn't make it a negative aspect, you know, because other countries benefit from immigration. So I'm putting that out there as well. But anyways, do the great thing, free things, like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Don't forget to check out my online store if you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor. Don't forget to check out WEBULL, Acorns, Crypto.com, Stash, Coinbase, with all those platforms, which will all be listed in the description. You'll be able to make some money once you sign up. Check it all out and go from there. So as the shirt says, make money moves, or you're going to live broke like a fool. Take care, family.